Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Masterpiece Lounge. I am your hostess, Chrisnatha Derosier, certified life coach, author, and speaker. Don't be shy, and we want you to say hello in the chat. And if there's anything you want us to ask Crystal, let us know. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of set the stage. Today, we have an amazing guest. She is a designer, she's an entrepreneur, she's basically all around fabulous. And so I want to make sure that you guys make her feel warm, feel welcome. The Masterpiece Lounge here today. We welcome you. Crystal Harris is in the building.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Crystal.
Thank you.
So, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We are so excited. So, we are kicking off the month of March. We're kicking off Women's Month with an amazing woman here. And so, we want to hear your story. We want to hear all amazing things that you have going on. And so, for those of us who don't know, our very first question for you, Crystal, is who is Crystal?
I'm a fashion designer originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I started off doing hair when I was younger, and then I just eventually went into doing the clothing line, and I named it after my daughter. Her name is Nya. She was born in 2002. I started my line in 2003. Since launching the line, I've done several fashion shows, a couple of magazines, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then I start doing my expo, which is Nya Nya Experience, which will be on August the 12th of this year. And then I also launched Merit to Fashion of Atlanta, which is a fashion web series.
Awesome. Did you guys hear that? Like, she said it very calmly, but basically, she is the bomb.com. So I love it, Crystal. You are a creative. Everything that you do, I hear creativity in it, hair, fashion, designing, web series, you name it. So I'm excited as a fellow creative to another fellow creative. Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
Masterpiece Lounge. We're so happy to have you. That is awesome. So you mentioned a few things, and I wanted to also ask the Nya Nya experience. Can you let us know what that looks like and what exactly is it? Because it sounds amazing.
It's at the convention center by College Park. The Georgia International Convention Center is like 22,000 worth of square foot, and I fill it up with vendors, fashion designers, accessory designers, shoe designers, anything that's in fashion and beauty related. I fill it up with that, and it's just one day full of just creativity and fashion, beauty, cosmetics, all that good stuff.
I love it. It sounds like a woman's dream. Just a place to focus on beauty and I'll even throw in self care in there and just spending time really making it about us. And so I want to first thank you just for creating a space for women to feel beautiful, to have somewhere to go, just to be able to focus on fashion. Because I know those things as a woman just make us feel even more beautiful than we already are. So that is
Sure.
awesome. I love that. Okay. And so also with the you mentioned a web series,
Yes.
Married to Fashion of Atlanta. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about that?
So, married to fashion, I was just thinking I wanted to document my journey, and I was thinking of other designers I've always worked with just in the past from other fashion shows. And I was trying to think of a name. It took me probably about 5 years to think of a name. And
Mhm.
it just so happened I was listening to a song, and that song made me think of a name, which would came to Married to Fashion. I trademarked the name about 3 years ago. We announced it January the 1st of this year. And it's going to be like a show filled with designs that's inspired from Italy, I would say.
Mhm.
I wanted to give an experience of clothing that you wouldn't normally see in the United States. So it's going to be off the wall, spontaneous, different types of stuff. Us building a fashion show, the trade show, a fashion museum, kind of sort of like the Met Gala, where they have it at I think it's the High Fashion Museum, I think. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Um, Us building a museum. I have a castmate that will be doing a talent agency. So it'll be us on our journey doing that, but at the same time showcasing these weird looking designs that's inspired by Italy and art. It was like walking art, I guess.
I love this. So this is fashion. This is creativity. I feel like there's going to be an avant-garde feel,
It
um,
is, yes.
abstract
Mhm.
work that's going to be displayed. So that's awesome. I look forward to definitely following and supporting that because I love anything creative and anything art related. Um,
Yes.
okay, I love that. And
Thank
so
you.
if you had to describe, let's say in 2 or 3 words, that might be hard because I know there's so many words that you could use, but if you had to describe your fashion, well, your designs in like 2 or 3 words, what were some words that come to mind?
Creative, spontaneous, and out of the box.
Oh, I love that. Those are all fun words. I love it. I
So,
love it.
like when I started getting to my creativity, I made a dress that was made of seashells. I made one that was made of rocks
Oh,
and a feather dress.
feathers. Oh, wow. How do you get, well, I don't want you telling all your secrets, but how do you get feathers to kind of stay in place? Okay, okay. I tried. I tried to get a little secret. Okay. I love that. That is creative. Seashells especially, because seashells just remind you of the ocean, remind you of like
Hmm.
serenity and peace. And so I don't know why I'm thinking of a mermaid, even though that's not a mermaid, but
That's what
think,
everybody thinks of, a mermaid, when I say something about the seashell dress.
yes, just thinking about the sea and peace. And so I love that. I love that. That's
Thank
super
you.
creative. Okay. And so also talking about fashion, when did you first know that you had the bug? Like that fashion was something that you were interested in or piqued your interest?
Um, so when I was back in 16, I I love fashion. I would start collecting all these Vogue and what is it, Vanity Fair or
Mhm.
all the magazines that was fashion related. But I started collecting the magazine. I had no clue of why I was collecting magazines. I rarely looked at it. But then when I went to the stores, I put outfits together, but I didn't like seeing people with the same outfit I had on because they'll maybe dress it down or dress it in a certain way you didn't like it. So that's when I created my own line because I was like, I can move at my own pace, create it how I want to. And I just started out with tops. And that's when I knew that I wanted to be a designer. And fast forwarding to maybe 3 years after I started, when I started getting responses from people and they was engaging in what I was doing and they liked it, that just encouraged me to keep going.
Awesome. Awesome. That is awesome. I love that story. And it seems like you have a really colorful imagination just to be able to create the designs that you do, which is always great. It's I believe that creatives are also dreamers and also people who have just great vision because we are seers as well, so we see things before they manifest. And so I
Sure.
love that. So for any women who just it being Women's History Month, and so if there's any women who are interested in design or interested in fashion, just being in that industry, and they're a fellow woman creative, what's some advice you would be able to give to them if they're just starting out or just thinking about just kind of putting themselves out there?
I would say don't go with the typical model of them saying that it's expensive to start or you have to get all these pieces done to be in a major department store. I started that way, lost a lot of money. My whole idea was to be different. So I didn't need to produce 100,000 pieces of one item because they mean everybody's gonna be wearing the same thing. And that's what I didn't like when I started. So when they say, oh, you need a lot of money, no, you could just start off with a few pieces and be creative with that. Then the other model of being in a department store, I realized that wasn't my path. I would say. I say my path probably was to just do expos and showcase my stuff that way. So also with my expo, I opened up my expo for other emerging designers and give them that exposure so they don't have to go through the struggles of what I went through when I started. Because it was really hard. We did not have social media. I was out walking around passing out flyers. I was going to business, leaving cards and flyers. We don't have to do that anymore. So
Mhm.
mine was a little bit harder. So I would just say start with what you got, be creative, and don't listen to nobody else.
I love that. And you definitely, you laid the brick foundation, right? Brick by
Yeah.
brick. You, like you said, you went to businesses, you got the word out as much as you could. And now we have social media, we have the internet. And so it's important that we leverage that. I love how you are also paying it forward. You're creating a platform, yeah, for other designers to say, hey, listen, you don't have to guess through this. Okay,
Yeah.
I've done
You
the
know,
guessing, right? And so
no,
now you get to learn how to do it, right? And so that is awesome that you're opening doors for so many other people, because I believe that is the true um, fulfillment in the work that you get to do, because
that's true.
you're also impacting other designers as well.
Yes,
I love
I
that.
agree. Thank you.
Now, I know that you've been featured in a lot of amazing publications because you are amazing. So,
Thank you.
some of them being Essence, Upscale, and Ebony. How did you get featured? Was that just you leveraging relationships, or how did you position yourself for that to take place?
I think a lot of that came from me working with celebrities, styling celebrities, and usually with social media, I guess must have saw it and they reached out to me. I know with Lisa Wu, they feature her in a couple of magazines. So the stylist was like, "Hey, by the way, your piece just got featured in Essence magazine." So that was a text. So I got a text from that, and with Upscale, um, I think they reached out to me as well. I don't remember what happened, but I remember them reaching out. They asked me to come on set for something,
Hmm.
and we built a relationship from there.
I love it. So I
Thank
just want to also encourage anybody who's tuning in, no matter what industry you're in, visibility is important. So you may have amazing work, amazing designs, amazing products, but if nobody knows, then you won't get the customers, clients, or the feedback that you want, right? And so it's important to put yourself out there. Um, Leverage relationships, build relationships, and also just put yourself out there. You'll never know. So I'm super excited that you shared that, because that just made me think of visibility and how important it is to make sure people know that you do what you do. I love
you. Be
that.
consistent.
Being consistent, that's important. And you also mentioned how you didn't need to be like anyone else. For example, when you said you get to decide if you're in a brick and mortar store, or if you're
Mhm.
online, or if you do pop-up shows, like you don't have to be like anybody else. And so just making sure that you stand out is so key. So I
Yeah.
love that you shared that as well, and that you also had the vision and the courage to say, I can be different, and that's okay.
Mhm. Yeah. I
I
had
love.
people around me that kept saying, "Oh, well, this is not what they do in New York Fashion Week, or this is not what they do over there." And then I started thinking, that's not what I want to be like anyway. So this is what I want to do.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. For anybody who's just joining us, we are live with Miss Crystal Harris herself, designer, entrepreneur, all around fabulous woman. Okay, trust me. So,
Thank
so thank
you.
you, Crystal, for that. I'm excited. I have just enjoyed just speaking with you and just learning more about you, your story. How did you get to where you are and where you're headed? And I'm excited about this web series. I'm just excited about everything, because
Thank you.
everything sounds so amazing. You
Thank
are
you.
welcome. You are welcome. I definitely want to make sure I share the links if anybody wants to connect with you, and just make sure that they go ahead and make note of these links so that they can make sure that they support you. But if we don't know how to get in touch with you yet, or we may have not been connected with you online, what is the best way to find you? How can we connect with you on social media or online?
So my personal is Miss Crystal Denise, MissCrystalStald Denise, Denise, Denise. I didn't realize it was this long. And then my Nya Nya Experience is NYA Experience. Um, we have Nya Nya Couture, which is the clothing line. NYA Couture. Those are the other ones, the only ones.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. I love it. So, just if you could leave us with some encouraging words, Crystal, for anybody who is just, they've been dreaming, they've been planning, they've been researching, but they haven't quite taken that step to say, I need to really make it happen. What are some parting words and some advice you would have for them?
I would say somebody else told me, they said, don't say just do it, just start, which is a little bit more effective. So if you're waiting on maybe some funds, work with what you got. You can probably start off with paperwork, like doing the legal structure of your business or something. Just find other ways to like work out the details of what you need done for your business before you actually get the funds. Like, say, for instance, with my expo, if I didn't have the funds to book the venue or book the talent or get all the logistics of it, then I'll just be working out what day I'm gonna do it. Update my website, keep posting on social media, just find other things to build up, engage an audience so you can build that. So at least when you do launch it or start it or whatever you do, you've already engaged the audience. So it's just an announcement. So you'll make it a lot easier basically if you do it that way.
Awesome. I love that. That's great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone who's tuned in, thank you for joining us today. We've had such a great time um, with Crystal, and we've also had a great time with the audience. We just had some feedback. I would just want to share it, Crystals, just so that you can see it here. Um, so, Bettina loves that you have a platform for other designers as well. And she also loved the idea of the seashells.
It's on the Night Couture on Instagram, the seashell dress.
Awesome.
I actually use that as a piece to like I use pieces as bait to go to other events. Like say for instance, there's an expo. I would use a model to wear my most craziest piece and she would just walk around. That's gonna draw the people to you and you just give them your card. They already interested. Versus me going like door to door or business to business or just passing out flyers. That's my way of having them come to me. So I use it like a bait.
I love that idea. It's literally a walking billboard. Um,
Exactly.
yes, I had a girlfriend who's a hairstylist, and she would literally style my hair and say, "You're coming here with me." And so when
Yep.
people would compliment me, I would walk them over, literally like, "Please
Yep.
come with me." If she did it, and then they would talk. So I definitely get that, and that is a great way to connect with people at events. And you guys who are watching can use that uniquely when, in whatever industry you're into. So that's always a great thing. It's a walking testimonial and all of
Mhm.
the things. So
It works every time.
thank you, Crystal, for dropping these gems. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for tuning into the Masterpiece Lounge today. We'll be back here, same time, same place next week. Until then, be well. And Crystal, thank you so much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
it's been such a pleasure. You guys have a great day, and we will see you soon.